Greetings, Imperial Citizen. It is I, Dave of Chaos Crafting. A little bit of chaos never hurt anybody. Today we're going to restore, a 30-year-old model. This is a Warhammer 40K Imperial Predator tank. This month, Games Workshop is releasing the Horus Heresy box set. It's a throwback to the original Rogue Trader game back in the 90s. And it's got me a little nostalgic. So when I was perusing eBay and I saw this tank at a reasonable price, mind you, I said, I want that. As you can see, this tank needs a lot of love. It's got multiple layers of paint. It's got glue just oozing out of the seams. It's even been modified for chaos a bit. We're gonna have to get this all fixed up. One good thing, it has most, if not all, its parts. I mean, it's missing some rails, but nothing I can't work with. I will start initial disassembly. The glue is old, and I'm going to pop off the pieces that I think can safely come off. These sponsons are crying out to be magnetized. So here's the plan. I'll continue with the disassembly as much as I safely can. I'm going to dunk this in some stripper for a while, cut down a couple of these layers of paint, hopefully get it close to bare plastic. We'll do a repair to it, get it all assembled and repainted. My daughter has picked blue, so I think this is going to be a Ultramarines tank. And we'll see how it goes. This hole back here is going to be a problem. Yep, simple green. Inexpensive. About $10 for a gallon. This will work on plastic or metal. You just have to vary your soak time. I'm going to be a little cautious. This is an old model. I don't want to melt any of the plastic inadvertently. So I'm going to go for a short soak and see what happens. At an hour, not much has happened. The decals are still stuck on. The paint is starting to get a little soft. I'm gonna scrub at this a little bit. Yeah, this is gonna need a couple hours. I'm thinking like 4 or 5. 4 or 5 and we'll come back to it. Pine fresh scent. Now let's get in there and give it a good scrub. You're gonna need a tub of hot soapy water, a good strong toothbrush, not your wife's. She wouldn't like that, trust me. The hot soapy water will of course help in removing the paint. We also want to remove all the simple green. If you're left with any simple green on the plastic, when you get to the painting stage, it's going to make nothing but a mess. Time to get rid of this stabby bit. I'm going to use a little jeweler's saw. It's a very fine-toothed saw blade. And I'm going to cut this pointy thing off. Now I can safely scrub without poking my fingers. The paint's gotten pretty soft. I can peel it up with my thumbnail. That's good. For best effect, probably letting this soak for 8 hours straight would have been perfect. I mean, I'm having to move to some more aggressive tools. Here I'm using just not only the toothbrush, I've broken out some wet sanding paper. And where is it? It's in here somewhere. A bamboo skewer to help pick the paint out of the cracks. I'm pretty happy with the results so far. Though we did have some casualties. I knocked off 2 of the exhaust pipes and a bumper rail. But I'll just get that put back on later. Alrighty, all the scrubbing is done. Now it's time to fix some of the things I broke. Here, I'm starting with the exhaust pipes. I'll use a super fine hand drill and some 24 gauge wire to create a pin to hold the exhaust pipes in. Using super glue, that should keep it on there securely. Next, I will address the hole in the rear engine grate. I'm going to use some parts from my bits box to cover it up, kind of disguise it. I'll trim off all the broken bits, clean it up. It looks like I'm going to lose some of the rivets on the top. I'm using 1/2 millimeter thick styrene rod to create some rivets. Basically cut down very small pieces, like here, and then we'll glue them where the other rivets were, and sand it down to make it look uniform. I went ahead and magnetized the sponson guns and the sponsons off camera. That was not a very fun process. It's a matter of drilling a very small hole to put the magnet in. If you've done this sort of thing before, you know what I'm talking about. Needless to say, it was about an hour worth of frustration I didn't particularly want to share. Onto the muzzle. I'm going to cut this off. I'll use some styrene tube to make something that looks similar. I know it's not going to be an exact match. Focusing on the turret, I need to create a turret pivot point. You know, since I removed that stabby thing that it once had, I will use a plastic card and more styrene tube to craft something that works nicely. I could use magnets, but I want to stay away from magnets right now. I'll do a rough cut on the plastic card to get it to about the same shape as the turret. I'll glue it on, and once it's all dry, I'll trim it down, sand it so it matches the turret shape exactly. With the plastic card trimmed down, it's time to mark out the center point for the pivot for the turret. Once it's marked out, I will drill out a hole, and I'll use polystyrene tube to create the axis to hold the turret on. I went ahead, glued on the tracks. Very basic, nothing exciting to see. I hope you don't miss it. Now, it's time to do something about the handrail. This thing right here. You see, I've only got one. I'm going to use some brass rod and make my own. This is going to be fun. I should probably have been measuring at this point, but I was just in the flow. I just started bending some rod. It came out okay. It's close. I'm gonna make 2 handrails. That way they match. I gotta remove this other plastic handrail. Oh, Jesus! Oh. Now I need to make some doohickeys for the rail. I don't know what this is called. It's the little round thing at the base. Drill out some holes for the handrails. Put the doohickeys on, super glue it all together, and Bob's your uncle. Assembly is complete. You see, I've scratch built a little antenna, more items from the bits box. I even slapped on a purity seal on the turret, you know, keep that chaos at bay. If I'm lucky, the weather will cooperate today, and I'll have nice low humidity so I can get this primed. And then it's on to paint. Priming is done. Make sure you do light coats. I did 3 very light coats to build up to this full coverage. Don't repeat past mistakes and just glop the paint on there. Easy does it. I can still see a lot of marring on the surface of the tank from the previous glue that I removed. We'll use that as just a weathering effect. We'll roll with it. All in all, I am super happy how this came out. This really satisfies that nostalgia that I got when seeing the new Horus Heresy miniatures. Let's talk color theory and undertones for your primer. You're going, Dave, you're going to paint this blue. Well, why did you prime it black? That's going to be a very difficult color to really brighten up if you have it based on a black primer. zenithal priming. You've put down the black. Now we're going to put down a very light top color of white. That's typically just going to touch the surface elements of your model. I will apply a base color of this blue, and with the zenithal, the highlights will be lighter than the undershadows. Now, painting this is going to take some time. More time than I have to put into this video. So I'm going to leave you now as I put on this base coat. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe, you know, the usual yada yada. I enjoyed doing this. When I get this guy finished, I will definitely post up some photos onto my Instagram account. And until next time, peace!